And of course, good for the continued development of that sector. Now, the uptake for electric vehicles in Kenya is rising fast. Now, Kenya Bus Services is the latest transport company to announce their move to go electric. Here's Kelly Bose with that exclusive story from KBS.
Now, in Kenya, we have just under 4,000 electric vehicles. That, compared to the millions of cars that we have on the road, is just a drop in the ocean. But that number there, compared to the number of electric vehicles in African countries, places us in the top 10. That means progress. And so, think about it. Kenya Bus Services has entered the EV space, one of the oldest bus services in Kenya. But what does this mean to the transport sector in Kenya?
One, KBS we would say is the traditional bus service in Kenya. It's got a good name. KBS has been in the country for, I think they started something like in 1920 something. So it's almost 100 years of KBS been in this country. So it's a legacy brand. It's a well-known brand, and a lot of us who are older always are nostalgic, remembering the days where we went to school on scheduled buses and, which were run by KBS. KBS model is a franchise model, which works very well with our lease model. So a franchisee will be able to take a bus from ourselves and place it in KBS, and KBS have got the entire management process, which they've been perfecting for a long time.
Now, these electric buses, compared to ICE engine buses, have very few moving parts. And that means during maintenance, this bus could be forgiving to your pocket. And on the other side, also on the road, while using this bus, it saves quite a percentage compared to an ICE engine bus. But these electric buses are still quite pricey. So how does KBS afford to get these buses on the road?
If you look in the motorcycle industry, what they're doing is doing battery swapping that brings down the rate. If you look in the Western world where they've got very huge subsidies, which makes it affordable. What we are doing in Kenya, especially for bus operators who can't currently afford the bus if they were just to outrightly buy it, like they buy the diesel buses, is we then are creating we've created a new financing way and a new financing model, which we call pay as you drive. So as opposed to traditional financing where you pay a fixed amount per month, whatever happens, our amount is based on the mileage you drive. So somebody pays a deposit, and it's basically a lease model, but you're paying the lease based on a kilometer-based financing.
Now, according to the Transport Sector Climate Change Annual Report 2018-2019, the transport sector accounted for about 12% of Kenya's total greenhouse gas emissions that contribute to the public health issues in the city. The move by KBS to go electric is part of the wider plan to address greenhouse gas emissions.
I think what is inspiring us is that the world is moving. And all over the world, people are going for things that have got impact on climatic change. Because of the climatic change issues, all countries are trying to see how they can reduce carbon emissions. A lot has been done on the ICE vehicles. Those are internal combustion engines, to the level they have reached Euro 6. Euro 6 is supposed to be among the cleanest. But still there is a deficit. And the technology in EV, despite the fact that EV came before the ICE engine, the technology has now improved so much that now the EV is starting to become affordable. So the whole world then is trying to transition from the ICE engines to EV vehicles.
Now, we have been talking here about the sort of car that can save you money, both on maintenance and fuel. The other thing that this car does is it is very forgiving to the environment. And as we well know, this is our responsibility to the future generation. But will these buses represent what KBS has represented, bringing order to the transport sector?
Of course, those buses, they're also being very